Well, as time goes on, technology develops, and lately it seems like it's been developing at a very rapid rate. And as we hear more about AI in the technology forefront, we're also hearing about expansions more and more into augmented reality and virtual reality. Those expansions are happening right here in our backyard as well at Oakland University. Joining us now on the program from Oakland University is their founding director of their Augmented Reality Center, Khalid Mirza, on today's edition of the Megacast. Khalid, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, Tyler. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, glad to have you on. As there's exciting news from Oakland University, as they'll be having an open house this week, Friday, 10:30 to noon, at the Augmented Reality Center on the campus of Oakland University. As the center has continued to develop AR and VR programs at Oakland University, and is now opening that up also for some experiences to the public as well. Let's start off by talking about just what you do at the Augmented Reality Center at Oakland University. What are these programs all centered on?
Great question, Tyler. When we started the center, our main objective was to bring the industry up to speed with this technology and help them use it in production and various manufacturing things which they do. And the second objective was to also develop this skill set in the students so they come up to speed and become a productive workforce. So with that, we had three big initiatives which we do at the center. One of them is, of course, the educational programs. Being a university, we want to develop a very strong education program in the immersive technology. We also want to do projects for industry to help them solve some interesting problems as they face in this immersive technology area. And the third thing, which we thought was very important, was to introduce this technology to companies who are looking for what is this technology? How can we use it? How can it benefit us? So we thought the best way is to have them experience it. I mean, I can talk about the technology to you, I can show you a video, but it's nothing compared to when you actually experience it and figure out how can this be have a benefit for me. So the third initiative was to open immersive showcase laboratory where anybody can come and experience the technology, see some demonstrations which are industrially focused, and with that, the grand opening is our big event where we are going to open the lab and we are going to announce public hours where anybody can come in to experience the technology.
And so for those that may not be familiar with augmented reality or with virtual reality, AR or VR, they sound a lot alike to the layperson when they're hearing about AR or VR or one versus the other. So what define those for us? What are the differences and the similarities between augmented reality and virtual reality?
Okay, so this is always a point where a lot of people are confused about, what does it exactly mean? So we are living in our reality. That's our reality. When you look around us, we see the world as it is. If I completely replace it with a virtual world, which is virtual reality, you wear a headset where we cut you off from the real world, and we create an artificial reality for you, and you are immersed in it. That means that you can walk into that reality, you can interface with it, you can interact with it. That's virtual reality. A lot of the games which are available in virtual reality use this. They put you in an artificial world. There are many use cases in industry also where virtual reality can be used to envision designs in full in one-to-one in front of you, and you can walk up to it, you can interact with it. So there are a lot of use cases for virtual reality. But what I think, and we think at Augmented Reality Center, is that the augmented reality is going to be the key area for manufacturing industry. The difference here is that we don't cut you off from the real world. So you see the world as it is, and we augment it with information, with objects which are in front of you in the real world. And that's why we call it augmented reality. And I think for industry, safety is a big thing because you don't want to be cut off from the real world when you're doing things. So, but we do want to enhance it with however we want to do. So that's the main difference between augmented and virtual reality, where I think for industrial use cases, uh, giving information in a completely new way really makes you more productive and opens up new ways to do things.
And let's just talk about the expansion into this kind of technology over the last 10 years or so. 10 years ago, 6 to 10 years ago, I was learning about this kind of stuff just on the most basic level while I was in college at Michigan State from one of my favorite professors, Dr. Rabindra Ratan, who was really getting into this stuff and diving into it. And 6, 10 years later now, after I've graduated, this has become so much bigger than it was when we were first talking about this 10 years ago. How has AR and VR use, particularly in industry, as you mentioned, expanded in the last decade or so?
So the idea for immersive technologies, AR, VR, has been around for a while, as you mentioned. Various companies have been experimenting with it. Google came out with their Google Glass a while ago, and we have the virtual reality headsets available. What has changed recently is just the technology has advanced. We have miniaturized all the sensors and compute power which is needed to recreate a very realistic looking environments and realistic looking experience. So with that advancement, the newer equipment, newer headsets which are coming out are so much better than what has been used before, which means that now when you actually experience it, it it removes the illusion that you are in a virtual setting. You just get involved with what you need to do, wearing that headset or using the information. So I think that's the biggest change. And as we go forward, they are coming at a rapid pace. AI itself has also enhanced the way we can understand the real world, which is needed to do an AR or a VR experience. All of those advances, I think, is what's the exciting part right now, and we are at a point where we can really effectively start using this technology.
Khalid Mirza is the founding director of the Augmented Reality Center at Oakland University. You can learn more information about the ARC by visiting their website at oakland.edu/SECS. That is the website for the School of Engineering and Computer Science at Oakland University. Navigate down to labs and centers and just click on Augmented Reality Center to learn more information. You can also join them for their open house Friday, June 23rd, 10:30 a.m. until 12 noon on the campus of Oakland University and experience some of their AR and VR experiences yourself and learn more about the times that they'll be open to the public in the future as well. And Khalid, as you talk about those programs that are going to be available to the public for people to experience AR and VR in the flesh as they want to in our community at any time, what sort of experiences will be available to the public if they are interested in that and want to venture over to the Augmented Reality Center?
So we're going to demonstrate a lot of industrial use cases because mainly the center is focused on helping our industry around us to come up to speed and use this technology. But at the same time, we are also focused that, we want to encourage middle schoolers, high schoolers, college students to become interested so they can become part of this journey. So you will see a variety of demonstrations where where we showcase student projects in immersive technology along with the industrial use cases and just generally have excitement going around this technology and how powerful this can be.
And in terms of how students are interacting with this, how does this add to the programs at Oakland University, particularly in the School of Engineering and Computer Science, to be able to have access to this sort of technology and then also, as you said, be teaching this next generation of people that are going to be working in industry of how to develop and implement AR and VR in the industries?
One main thing I would say is that, which is unique for our program, is that we very early on realized that this is a very visual looking technology. I mean, yes, there is a lot of engineering involved, hardware, software, high-tech equipment to realize this. But along with this, uh, the use cases for this technology mean that it needs to be visually appealing, how you present it to the user, how the user interacts with the world we have created for them. So with engineering, we have combined design students. So it's really a collaboration between Oakland University and College for Creative Studies. And the faculty and students of both universities form a core team for the Augmented Reality Center. So what we are focused on is to create an interdisciplinary program where we have engineering and design. That way, the engineers understand the design aspects of making this technology, and the design students understand the engineering technology behind it. And when they go and work in teams in the industry, they can work very effectively with each other. I think this is the right way to future proof uh, the things which are coming out now. We don't know what kind of jobs will be available, but with students getting education in both these areas are going to be much more needed in all those jobs.
Joining us on the program today is Khalid Mirza. He is the founding director of the Augmented Reality Center at Oakland University. Again, you can learn more information about the ARC by visiting oakland.edu, navigating to the website for the School of Engineering and Computer Science. Go down to their Labs and Centers tab and click on Augmented Reality Center and join them this week, Friday, 10:30 a.m. until 12 noon at Oakland University for their open house at the Augmented Reality Center and learn more about their open hours to the public so you can experience AR and VR in our local communities. And Khalid, as we talk about these advanced technologies expanding in recent years, so many people are connecting the next generation of high tech to AI. So in the cases of VR and AR, how does AI potentially factor into that in terms of developing these technologies further, but also interacting with these technologies, especially as you mentioned previously, with it being such a key part of development in industry?
So I think of it this way, Tyler, that if you are trying to learn something new, I mean, I can give you a document and you can read it and understand from it and do the things which you're supposed to do. It's one way to do it. Or I can show you a video, and it's better way to learn and understand how am I supposed to do what I'm doing. But with this technology, the real exciting thing is that you get a personal assistant who is right there with you in the real world, is guiding you in the real world. So when you can connect AI with this application, because first you have to understand what you are seeing, the application, immersive application has to understand the same way what you're seeing, so it can guide you in that world, and it can help you and do all the necessary steps you need to do. So I think it's a marriage made in heaven that AI can assist immersive technology, and we can come up with very, very powerful and useful information. We don't create new information in this technology. It's not about that. It's how you present it to the user, because now we have a way where we can connect the real world with the digital world. So it's very exciting.
And so, what sort of is the vision for what comes next with AR and VR? We know how much it's developed just in the last 10 years or so to this point, but where does the industry, professionals like yourselves and others, experts, see AR and VR expanding in the next 10 years?
Already, there are companies which are using this technology in a variety of ways, especially the manufacturing industry. We were surprised how much interest was there when we proposed this to the industry, who are now the founding members of this center, is they understood that how they can use this technology and really increase their productivity. So there is no one example. I mean, it can be used for training, it can be used for designing. It can be used for collaboration between teams which are at different locations. And they can all be in the same area and without the need of being in the same room. So there are so many different ways. You can make a product digitally, and then without even producing it, you can visualize how this is going to be, and you can also show it to your clients and get a feel for without even realizing it physically. So there are so many different ways this technology can be used. And as the presentation becomes more and more realistic, this uh, the real world and digital world are so close to each other that the differentiation is hard to make now.
You can find more information on oakland.edu. Go over to the School of Engineering and Computer Science to learn more about the Augmented Reality Center. And, of course, you can join Khalid Mirza and the entire team from the Augmented Reality Center at their open house on Friday, June 23rd, 10:30 a.m. until 12 noon on the campus of Oakland University. Khalid, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.